It's Unfiltered. Some very beautiful instrumentals. Now we're from the powerful sound of the nation, yeah.
It's the start of the week. It's time for a new perspective. It's time for Unfiltered. Join AZARD Gumbs, lawyer and deputy leader of the People's Action Movement, for raw and unfiltered political analysis of the current events in St. Kitts and Nevis. Tune in every Sunday evening from 7:30 p.m. on WinFM. Join AZARD Gumbs as he breaks the mantle and cuts through the unfiltered political noise to bring you the facts. Unfiltered every Sunday evening on WinFM 98.9. It's the start of the week. It's time for a new perspective. It's time for Unfiltered. Join AZARD Gumbs, lawyer and deputy leader of the People's Action Movement, for raw and unfiltered political analysis of the current events in St. Kitts and Nevis. Tune in every Sunday evening from 7:30 p.m. on WinFM. Join AZARD Gumbs as he breaks the mantle and cuts through the unfiltered political noise to bring you the facts. Unfiltered every Sunday evening on WinFM 98.9.
Found the sound. 98.9. Win FM. St. Kitts and Nevis listens to
Win FM 98.9.
Win FM 98.9.
Lord, Escadden in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by labor, this pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this Labour Party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society this administration turning out to be. The PM got a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. This non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man sorry. This Labour bunch shot to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economy stalled, hard life crippling. We a collective menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no Indian. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan, ideas or structure. It's the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, pay unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake under these enemies of the state. Hey, chief, can he get lawyer? He really a pamper playing Labour third politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4, law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. DAD join the cult and the greedy. He just a menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under Labour life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace to society. Life in SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up in smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we with this menace to society. Lord, Escadden in a serious dilemma. Now that the country been run by Labour, this pure mayhem, scandal, disorder. With this Labour Party in power, is this a social club in disguise? Or some kind of criminal enterprise? What a menace to society this administration turning out to be. The PM got a so-called advisor, telling people how to get away with murder. This non-stop attack on the treasury with paper daddy and man sorry. This Labour bunch short to the core, lacking integrity, that's for sure. Economy stalled, hard life crippling. We a collective menace to society. It's like it's all cheap and no Indian. It's like lunatics running the asylum without a plan. Ideas or structure is the people who left to suffer. No pop, no peace, clear unemployment. No money for bills, much less enjoyment. Total advantage, that's we fake. Under these enemies of the state. Hey, chief, can he get lawyer? He really a plumber, plain labor, third politician now for sure. Going from door to door in number 4, law and order not a priority. No one in charge of the nation's safety. He joined the cult and the greedy. He just a menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace to society. Life in SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country growing up is smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we. With this menace to society. Government buildings, well them the worst. We infrastructure seem like it costs. Electricity and water up with the moon. Every month you hear the fix coming soon. Under labor life for this pure misery. Oppression, depression and tyranny. This gang is a menace to society. On SKN, this ain't no joke. Like the whole country going up in smoke. While Mr. Smiley and 10 money one busy fighting, jockeying for position. Lord have mercy upon all of we. With this menace to society.
And you know, Unfiltered, it's all about
Sees menace to society. Them are enemies of the state. Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies. They need their other show.
we are here
They
on
got to
Unfiltered,
go.
and as you heard this song, it's like labor is a menace to society. We've seen
It's
as
menace
we
to
are
society.
that
Them are
across
enemies of the state.
Bastille,
Lord of mercy, under the weight of the lies. They need their other show. They got to go.
it's like it's been run by the moon or the tides of the moon, and so we are here in a situation where we are under a new administration, and this administration clearly is unaware on how to effectively run the country, effectively run St. Kitts and Nevis. So without any further ado, I'll have my guest speak, the former Minister of Tourism, and again I said a number of accolades behind his name, former leader of the People's Action Movement. Welcome to Unfiltered. This is your first time on the program. How are you feeling?
Azard, let me first of all thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on Unfiltered, a widely listened and watched program every Sunday evening. So I'm happy to be here.
It's good to have you here.
Except that we are in perilous times.
Indeed.
It appears as though the country has a serious electricity problem. In fact, this morning I had no electricity, no water, and I was trying to get to church for 9 o'clock. You know, we had a fantastic 60th anniversary church service at Calvary Baptist in Sandy Point, but I still managed to ensure that I got to church, and it was a great service. So we're here this evening. I guess we're going to go from electricity to other critical areas of national development.
In fact, as you talk about that, I had a guest here last week from Barbados while at the Royal St. Kitts and preparing to, carry out the day-to-day activities. Water was off. And so even for locals feel the squeeze, so to speak, as relates to not having proper infrastructure that would facilitate to the flow of water, electricity. and those overseas as well. And as Minister of Tourism, former Minister of Tourism, you would understand that the tourist experience is hampered by that.
Absolutely, because I just came from a function where we had some persons who were staying at the Marriott, and they were appalled that we were having the blackout, and I was basically embarrassed because we haven't had this. We certainly didn't have this situation under the last government,
Yes,
which we ran for 7 years. People took it for granted. The kind of infrastructure we have put in place, and to ensure that the necessities of life are managed properly, and that people have a seamless operation in their day-to-day affairs. Because we have tomorrow. What do people do tomorrow?
exactly.
No electricity, can't iron your clothes. Simple things that we take for granted
And
will become a challenge tomorrow for a lot of people.
And also, it's over the weekend, and just yesterday, a business place, because of the lack of electricity, had to close down for the day. And my mind goes out to small business owners. Things aren't going well. We have the former advisor to the Prime Minister who even sang in Calypso that things aren't going well. Most of the persons in the Federation are echoing the sentiments, things aren't going well. And so when you look at small businesses, and small businesses having to close on a Saturday, which might be an opportunity for them to make extra income, you look at it and we said, electricity, it may seem as just a little inconvenience, but for some, it's more than inconvenience. It hits their pocket. And this Labour administration has done a fantastic job not caring for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, the people who elected them to serve them. In fact, what they have done over the past 2 years is cater basically on their own self-interest, ensuring that they are fit and ready for the hardship that is happening by increasing their salaries, by increasing their travels. They're out of the country more than in. And it's a clear indication that they are self-serving, not looking for the people's best interests over their tenure.
Azad, you're absolutely correct. This government really runs contrary to the grain of what the People's Action Movement stand for. Our motto for the last 60 years has been putting people first. And everything we have done in terms of our policies, in terms of our day-to-day operation, we look to the people first in terms of how is this going to affect the man and woman on the street. That's the first thing. And once it doesn't do anything to positively affect their lives, we don't do that. This government, on the other hand, appears to be very self-centered, very selfish in their operations, and it's all about them, and then the people flow after that, if at all. And so I believe the people of St. Kitts and Nevis have now recognized 2 years later that they have made a grave mistake, and that the next time around they will have to appreciate the party that's going to put this country back on track in a forward-thinking way is a government of the People's Action Movement.
Indeed. And when you look at the People's Action Movement celebrating 60 years, we had a wonderful anniversary gala, tremendous. It was a sold-out event. We had so many persons. We honored past leaders like yourself. We honored William Herbert, the late Dr. William Herbert, Dr. Kennedy Simmons, Dr. Sean Richards, and the person who is now leading the People's Action Movement, our political leader, Natasha Shani Gray Brooks. And when we look at the contributions of so many people over the past years, it shows that the People's Action Movement has always put the people first. As you have indicated, and as I've said numerous times, the People's Action Movement is the party for the development of St. Kitts and Nevis, looking back from the 1980s to 1995, I often like to say that is for the People's Action Movement that laid the foundation, the architecture of our modern St. Kitts and Nevis. And sad to say, as the political leader has indicated, and as so many people have indicated before, when the Labour Party wins an election, the people lose. In fact, when we look at constituency number 4, constituency number 4 thought they were getting a savior. In fact, you were the representative for 2 consecutive terms. And I recall that sometime during the Labour, I think, convention or the like, the now representative, when he spoke about constituency number 4, his highlight was more about beating you than what he has done for constituency number 4. In fact, it made it seem like his highlight was just about ensuring that he got the seat, talking about how he had beaten the 351, not realizing that the number of votes that he got in the last election wasn't anything spectacular. He got the same amount of votes that any candidate who wins usually get.
What he failed to recognize, also, is that the 2022 election was a very peculiar election, very, very peculiar, and we probably will go on to that sometime later in the evening. But it's very peculiar, and that he basically got a gift, because you had here now 3 parties contesting. And so the votes were split down. When you look at the numbers, I mean, it is nothing that you've done. He would have lost had we had a 2-party system.
Indeed.
But that's, I guess, for another discussion. But the energy needs to be on what can you do to improve the lives of the people in constituency 4. That is what you need. He's very absent. Very, very absent.
Yes.
And
in fact, I heard him say one time that he tries to be there at least once a week.
Wow.
And I thought to it myself that when he was campaigning for the position, you couldn't get him out of constituency number 4. Sometimes we have meetings in number 4, and we have meetings at the constituency office
Monday evenings.
and every Monday evenings, and there is Samuel Duggins up the road, hitting the bars, speaking to persons. People at number 4 asking, where is he now?
Yeah.
Is this the same Duggins that requested, begged for their vote, and now that he has it, does nothing to better their lives?
I mean, they have some serious introspection to do, and come the next general election, they need to decide where their vote is going to go. It's going to be serious. It's a decision that the whole country has to make. We have to look clinically now at what the state of the country is, where it was, and which team is going to bring you a better St. Kitts and Nevis. And there is no team better positioned to run this country for the next 5 years than the People's Action Movement government under the leadership of Natasha Shani Gray Brooks.
And I believe that is so. Because when we look at the People's Action Movement, a lot of persons like to say that the PAM is dead. But I like to say that the People's Action Movement is alive and well. I think that from the 2022, as you have indicated, it was a very peculiar election like no other. And it wasn't the fact that the Labour Party won, it was that the team unity lost. And we know over the past years, when it is that there's infighting or some sort of division, the party that, or the group that is divisive, usually, or divided, usually loses. We look at the Labour Party, it's no different. They in themselves, I don't think they expected an early election. And even in expecting the early election, I don't even think they expected to win. Because now they have the opportunity to make the lives of persons better in St. Kitts and Nevis, and they have made it worse. Their slogan was better with Labour, but a lot of us are saying it's been bitter with Labour. It's not been a good taste in our mouths. And a lot of persons, especially as I go through constituency number 4, I speak to the persons in constituency number 4, they're asking me, when is the next election? Why they have to wait until 2027? And many persons across the country are asking the question, why they have to wait until 2027? Because life is hard now.
Yeah, there's a sense of urgency among the people for a fresh election.
Yes.
To right the wrong that they thought happened in 2022. So we look forward to the next couple of years and to see how the movement of this country is over
Yes.
that time.
Indeed. I know that this is our 60th anniversary, and the People's Action Movement, through our political leader, has indicated that this year, because persons have asked her the question, that this year there would be the revealing of candidates, and so we look forward to that. I have also indicated my interest to the leadership of the party. I have said to them that I am interested not only in words but in writing. I have always expressed my interest in various positions. Last year, I remember writing to the Secretary of the People's Action Movement just before the caucus, indicating my interest to be the deputy leader of the People's Action Movement. And of course, it's a process. We don't handpick, it's not a coronation. And so we have to go through the process, and like any other individual, I go through the process. And I hope that at the end of the day, that it is a successful one. So I have been working in the constituency. In fact, when you were the candidate, many times I was with you and others who went through the constituency, knocked on the doors, and the feeling then, a lot of persons, when we were canvassing, I recall, especially in 2020, a lot of persons were excited. You knew that the election was going to be successful in constituency number 4, and the numbers showed that. Canvassing even now, a lot of persons are disappointed in the Labour representative and the Labour Party. In fact, the minister is not only failing in his constituency. When you look at the ministries in which he has agriculture, he has sports, he has fisheries, falls under agriculture. And all of those areas are areas that are not going well. The only thing that seems to be going well under him is the carnival. But we know that Kittitians and Divisions, we love music. So it's very difficult to spoil the carnival. In fact, there are so many stakeholders in the carnival that it is very difficult. He really doesn't have to do anything because there are so many persons who have an interest in the carnival that ensures that it goes well.
Well, Azad, I can bring it home even a bit more closely. Let us look at the state of agriculture and an era in which I am concerned, and that's poultry egg / production. Over November, December, this government ran the poultry farmers out of feed. As a consequence of running the poultry farmers out of feed, poultry farmers' birds went into a molt. What that means? Their birds stopped laying. Some lost their birds. Some birds died because they had no feed. The majority of them went into a molt, so they stopped laying. How do you get them back to lay? You have to wait for 6 weeks. So farmers have been feeding their birds feed because they just got feed in January of this year. So they had them out of feed for probably a month or so, which is really terrible. And now, if you recognize there's a tightness in the country for eggs, and that is the reason, the consequence of the tightness of eggs in the country is as a direct result of this government running the farmers out of feed. It is as simple as that. So can you understand the whole mismanagement of the operations of the agriculture department to run farmers out of feed? And for now to be a tightness in the market with eggs in the country. I mean, it's just absolute mismanagement. And it goes back to his position as the Minister of Agriculture. I don't understand, for me, how they could allow that to happen, such a critical thing, especially when you know you had the Christmas season coming along and people use more eggs during the Christmas season. And that's only one area under his portfolio that I've addressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. We have someone who is leading ministries that is incapable of leading them successfully. Agriculture, I remember farmers come on here, even during his national debate, on the budget. We had a program. We spoke about his presentation. In fact, it was more pictures than statistics. He talks about the 25 by 25 agenda as if it is a national agenda crafted by him. In fact, he likes to take credit for other things that have been crafted by others. And so he makes it seem as though it's his own, and then makes a mess of things, ensuring that it doesn't happen. Because he does nothing, he doesn't know how to deal with the matter. And so the 25 by 25 agenda is still dead on arrival. And so I remember looking at some photos that he posted, and he posted some photos with some plants, and I think some vegetation, and it was on his Snap. And he said, for those persons who said that the 25 by 25 agenda ain't gonna be as successful, and I thought to myself, he's posting pictures of produce, okay. He's posting pictures of livestock, okay. But does he truly understand what the 25 by 25 agenda is about? It's more than just the production when it comes to crops. It's about ensuring that the import is done by 25%.
And so I don't even understand why they come up with this 25 by 25. I mean, it started late, so there's no way it could happen. I mean, just from a common sense point, it could not happen. But then let us look at the reality of it. The reality of it is that you ran and you put down you started to put down some greenhouses, I think it was.
Yes, in the
just
Newton
out
area.
in the Newton Ground area. I mean, I can't even see them now for the amount of bush and grass.
And the thing about it,
and it's just,
I remember when he spoke about it, if you read the press release, he makes it seem as though it's going to be the best thing. That he brings something revolutionary. That he's going to put it down there in the area. I read that press release, and then I looked at what he did. Months after, and nothing. And I said to myself, this man is about making grand ideas, grand dreams, and ensuring that he follows through on it.
You see, unfortunately, we have a society today that we like pictures. We don't like to read a lot. We like the pictures. So they go and take a photo up, and then your mind gets bamboozled because you see a photo up of some greenhouses, let us see, and you forget about that for the next 6 to 8 months. And if they go back and take the same photo up at the same place 8 months later, you'll recognize that
nothing is moving.
Things not happening.
And in fact, you will look at the greenhouses, and then you have to look at the Kim Collins Stadium. Again, I read his press releases over the time, because you have to analyze, you have to look at what is being said versus what is being done. And again, the Kim Collins Stadium, we are in what? We're in January. We're going into February. Around in this term is the sporting term. What plans are in place? Is the facility going to be ready?
Well, I don't think so. I passed up by it today, and it looks far from ready. Kudos to them if they get it ready for the real sporting season, which is right now. But the look that I had of it today is very difficult to see how they're gonna get that up to speed. And we'll see.
He makes promises like that. And again, grand ideas. And, he's good when it comes to social media. He's good in terms of making something. We have a phone call. Okay. Caller, you're live on Unfiltered. Go ahead. Caller. Caller. Not hearing the caller. Okay, so as we were saying, sorry about that, caller. If you can call back. He is about making things look grand. Social media. I think he had something called Island Expressions before, and so he used that platform. He built up himself. Okay, we have the caller calling back. Caller, you're live on Unfiltered. Okay, we missed that caller. So he uses a platform. He uses his platform to enhance his image because he's all about the image. In fact, I saw something being written of him a few days ago where he's sitting in a chair, he on his Gucci shoes, nice jacket, nice suit, sitting as though everything is going well. Wherever he is, doesn't appear to be in St. Kitts. Well, the ministries in which he's leading is going under. Persons are complaining. Workers in that ministry are complaining. And you wonder where is the leadership. You look at his constituency office. And for some time, his photo has been headless. And it represents the type of leadership that he gives. He is without a head. The constituency, when it comes to a representative, C4, is without a head. And they have asked time and time again to remove the man who has been headless for so long, only concerned about himself and what he can do to ensure his image looks good. I look at the healthcare system, and of course the healthcare system in St. Kitts and Nevis is not the best. Many persons would say that it's not the best. It's in fact below what we aspire for it to be. Prime Minister and the Labour administration talks about building a new hospital. And they cleared the ground some time ago. And then I look at the ground, it's covered in vegetation. They clear it again, covered in vegetation. And someone had to ask me the question, is it that they're not ready? Is it that the work is being given to somebody and so you want to make sure that that person, gets a good benefit? Because why are you going to clear the ground if you're not ready to ensure that the construction happens? And this administration constantly without fail, speaks of ideas, speak of things, and then nothing happens. It's as though they say to the people to run with it, and then they go back in the corner and they say, we tell the people that we know how we're going to do it.
You're right, because I think it's either 3 or 4 times they scrape the earth for the new smart hospital.
Everything is smart with them.
Yeah, and as it stands now, it's back in overgrown vegetation. You're not hearing anything about it, but I suspect you're going to hear about it maybe sometime soon. They'll go and scrape the ground again. And I think it will go back in overgrown vegetation again soon.
We have a caller. Caller, you're live.
Good morning. Good evening to you guys. This morning to me here in Taiwan. I just wanted to ask one question of Minister Grant. Can you hear me?
Yes, he could hear you.
Can you hear me?
He can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Mr. Grant, one of the things that's bugging me most about my party, People's Action Movement, is that they're losing support directly to the PLP party. I am wondering why none of the past ministers from 2022 have not yet come out and tell the people what went wrong directly. What went wrong? Because the PLP leader is going around telling people he did everything. He did this, he did that. Is it that Pam and CCM didn't do anything at all? Why my party would not stand up and say, this is what was done, this is what was proposed by us, this is what did not happen because X, Y, and Z, so people can understand that the same gentleman did not come off as this God that he's pretending to be. And the people that are with him, until Pam speaks out and tell the people what really went wrong, people are just going to go with whatever he says. If we keep our mouth shut and don't say anything, then he's going to get away with thieving as many people as he wants from our party. We can win the next election. But those who were there and were in the fire need to come out and help the People's Action Movement rebuild their power. That's my question. Thanks a lot for taking that question.
Okay, thank you.
Well, let me thank the caller for the question he has raised and his statements. I would agree with him to some extent, that the present leadership may need to find a way with the past leaders to maybe set the record straight, because the story needs to be told. It needs to be told, and until we tell it in a manner that people can understand, they may miscommunicate, or they may have a misunderstanding, let me put it that way, of what really transpired. And, you know, I am not the one to say it, honestly, and I won't say it here. The leadership will have to take the lead on that in terms of how you communicate the message. But what I would say is, in common language, is when you have a team, there is no one player on the team. That's why it's named a team. And it's a team effort. And when something is done, it's the team, not one man as an overlord. Pick sense out of nonsense. We had the majority in the parliament. We had the majority in the cabinet. Prime Minister can't do everything. It's not about him. It's about the team. And once you don't appreciate that you're working with a team, that's when things go wrong. You know, I'll give you an example. Let me just give you an example so people can maybe understand what I'm saying. In the cabinet, you'll make a decision, a policy decision. So look, when it comes to electricity, we're not going to cut off anybody electricity, things are tight. But we're not saying you're not going to pay, you're going to pay. But we can give you the option to pay overtime. That's your policy. And then I would meet a constituent in my constituency who says to me, boss, I got a problem. I said, what's the problem? My lights get cut off and I can't pay the money. I said, okay, no problem. Here is the policy. The policy is that you could get back on your lights. But you have to go to the department. You have to sign off an agreement as to, look, I have a payment plan. This is all I'm paid. And therefore, whatever reason, don't agree with that. So they drive over to Tabernacle and they meet the Prime Minister of the day. And he said, oh, me, Grant can't figure out that way. Grant, let me make a call. And then he solves their problem, which I couldn't solve because we have a policy. I can't go behind the policy. And so those constituents, what do you think they're going to say? Well, Grant full of joke.
Yes.
Grant ain't represent us. I got to go to the Prime Minister. Those kind of things undermine the system of governance. Those kinds of things create problem. And that is one of many. I won't go through to any more tonight, but I'm saying. So maybe there needs to be a calling out of persons and to show them these are the kinds of things that undermine the system of governance and created whatever happened at the end of the day.
Yes, yes. Thank you for your response. Thank you, caller, for that question. And as we have been indicating, it's 8:05 now. And, you know, we have been making some moves in the People's Action Movement from since the 2022 election. We've had a new leader. In fact, we have had new leadership, so to speak. We have had persons like yourself who have been with the party for a number of years. Your contribution invaluable. And you continue to guide and give what you can to the party. And it is, I think, is going to be very interesting coming the next election, seeing the balance of youth and also persons of experience and looking at what the party can do to transition itself to meet the needs of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We see that in St. Kitts and Nevis, and it's sad to say, housing is an issue. It's always been an issue. And I recall that this government, this administration is doing a good job when it comes to meeting the needs of housing for persons in the country. We look at NHC, and NHC is intended to assist persons who are less fortunate, so to speak, maybe not bankable. But we see that under their revolution, they said that they're going to build 2,400 homes, 600 per year. They did the 2 model homes, and I didn't hear nothing after that. They then tell persons...
Dismal failure.
They then tell persons that they have to be bankable, so to speak. And so it made me wonder, what's the point of NHC? And why is it that we had to use a foreign company to do things that we can do here in St. Kitts and Nevis?
Well, Azad, I think you're being generous. You're being generous in that you're saying they use a foreign company. Use them where? They haven't built any house. Show me a house that they have built. This is 2.5 years, I think it is, into administration, who said they're going to build 600 homes per year. People jump up and say, that's magnificent. And 2.5 years later, nothing. And that's the state of affairs we're in. Nothing they've said in terms. Their performance is dismal.
They have only performed well in traveling and increasing their salaries. In fact, when things are hard for others, we have members of parliament who thought that they are able to clear loans because of this job. Where many persons out there are not even doing well. Some persons don't even have jobs, and not because they don't want to have jobs. You look at the market, there's no facility. The government isn't facilitating the rebates, ensuring that the economy is vibrant. Everything is slow. Business owners are speaking out that things are very slow.
Things are almost at a standstill right now in terms of the economic performance of the country at the moment. It's really bad. It's really bad. And I'm hopeful, but there needs to be a concerted effort and some sort of an injection and something needs to be done. They certainly don't understand how the government runs, and the government is just sailing along like a ship without a rudder, so to speak. But if they don't do something, they as a matter of fact, this government is lucky that the last administration overperformed, and they're still existing on our overperformance. That is how I see it. And
the thing about it too, we look at the Caribbean region, we look at outside the Caribbean too. We see where Keith Rowley has indicated that he's not going to contest the next general election. He's stepping down as leader. Look in Canada, where the Prime Minister is saying, you know what, he's not contesting, he's stepping down, and he's going to be as long as there's a new leader emerging. And I think, is that what is St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party going to do? Are they going to say that they're not performing well, and so that the leadership now has to step down? But when I think about that, that would have to be a selfless act. And these members are not selfless. And so they're not going to remove themselves to ensure that somebody else can come and do a better job, because the job that they're doing is dismal, and they don't care about enhancing it or improving it.
I think part of the problem is they think they're doing a good job. They'll probably live in utopia or something like that, because it is only they who think they're doing a good job. If you ask the common man, the man on the street tomorrow, is the government performing? 9 out of 10 persons, irrespective of your political persuasion, will tell you things not going well.
And you look at St. Kitts and Nevis, the fact that this is a developing country, and government should not just be about winning elections. It should not just be about being a popularity contest. It should be about a vision where you want to see St. Kitts and Nevis over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years. And they have not presented any plans of stability. They have not presented any plans to ensure that, St. Kitts and Nevis gets that stronger, safer future that we so desire and need. They have not done anything. Everything seems so haphazard. It's as though this government is reactive. You don't see any progress in anything that they're doing. And then when you question them on it, Prime Minister comes on and he says they're coming soon. And everything keeps coming soon. Well, I hope he knows that 2027 is coming soon as well. And the people are going to speak.
As I look at the pillars of their platform from the last election, Abaste High School in shambles, we don't know what's happening with that. Smart hospital, we don't know what's happening with that. Housing, none built. They're pillars. They're pillars. And they have not performed one of those 2.5 years later.
And then the Prime Minister speaks about a sustainable island state and renewable energy. And I think to myself, he goes to a lot of these conferences. All of them go to these conferences. They pick up fancy catchphrases, things that sound well outside. So they go to a conference in the region talking about sustainable island state. Oh, yes, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis going to love to hear this. This could be a plan because we ain't got no plan otherwise. They come here and they don't know how to implement those plans. All now we're wondering what is going to happen to St. Kitts and Nevis to ensure that it becomes a sustainable island state. Yeah. By saying it alone is not enough.
As I have to be honest with you, I hate to hate no, because I really don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. So maybe somebody will have to tell me what that means, but I don't know what that means. But let us look at renewable energy.
Yes.
How on earth you're telling me that we're moving forward to renewable energy and every second you see us getting generators, whether we're renting or we're buying, and there's no concerted effort to move the needle when it comes to real renewable energy. We just hear talk. We don't want talk. We're just tired of talk. We want action. We want to see something tangible happening to change the status quo in terms of renewable energy. That's what we want. We're tired of the talk now. And this government just as you say, they just love the airwaves to talk. I mean, they don't realize people getting fed up by this thing. People want results. We want results. We want to see something tangible before our eyes. That's what we want.
And then they talk about some of the persons who apologize for them, talk about, well, what is the opposition's doing? What is the opposition's plan? And I have heard when it is a sitting government is so in need for the ideas from the opposition, it shows that they need not be there any longer. That they themselves need not be there any longer. Because the reason why they were elected is because they went on the platform, they said that I can do it, we can do it.
And people give them an opportunity to do it, and they're not living up to the opportunity that the people gave them to be able to function.
Exactly.
And that is the issue. Therein lies the issue.
And many persons are saying that Labour is the problem. That this administration is the problem that we are facing here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Because many persons are saying that when you look at the government and you're hoping that they could bring some sort of relief, when you look at all of them, not one of them do you have faith in ensuring that they come together to provide just that. We have been in this 2025, and many persons are just waiting for 2027. They just want 2025 to drift along, go peacefully, because they want to ensure that the country is in safer hands in the future. And I want to believe that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are not going to make the same mistake twice. This is going to be a historical election whereby the people of St. Kitts and Nevis is going to give, for the first time, a party a one term. It has never happened in the history of St. Kitts and Nevis, a one-term government administration. And I think the time is going to be quite fitting now.
I think there's no other time than to record that historical moment in the annals of our political history, one-term government, because I don't believe the people of St. Kitts and Nevis want to suffer another 5 years under this clueless administration.
And this administration, you look at it and you look at the finances, and they have advisors. And one of the major issues of concern right now is the economy. And I don't see them bringing in minds to ensure that they guide them along, ensuring that they can do what is best to inject some sort of life in the economy. You look at the platform, you look at them, and none of them there are, in my mind, I could be wrong, none of them have the qualifications in terms of, none of them are economists. None of them study the economy on a large scale. Some of them, perhaps, I don't know how successful they were in business just before. And so you move from just being an individual, you part of a party, you're doing, and then moving on the platform that you're serving the country. But you have not surrounded yourselves with persons who have expertise. You hire advisors to advise you, but these are political appointees, only loyalists to you, with the knowledge and desire to be loyal to you and nothing else. And so you don't come with any other gifts to the table to ensure that you make a contribution. And that is my fear when it comes to this administration, that they're so concerned about politics. They're so concerned about winning the next election, and they're not concerned about making people's lives better. And that is my fear when it comes to this administration. And of course, I hope that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis the people of St. Kitts and Nevis do not make the same mistake twice. We have a very high literacy rate, and I put my faith in the people of St. Kitts and Nevis not to make the same mistake twice. Because when they said in their last election, and the theme was get rid of them, it meant get rid of all the good things that were associated with St. Kitts and Nevis as well. Get rid of the policies that helped us. Get rid of the programs that help us. You understand? So when they have that theme, get rid of them, it was more about, it was not just about getting rid of the farm administration, but the good that the farm administration had done. And that is the sad thing. And we look at, so many things. As I said before, the healthcare is not doing as good as it should be. Most of them have access, I'm sure. If they need proper healthcare, they could fly out. They fly out for other reasons. And so many of us are left here, and so you have to do with the healthcare system, and you have to deal with whatever is there. And we're urging the government, because if they're not ready, when the People's Action Movement comes into government in the next election, we will be ready to ensure that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis gets a government, an administration that is serving them and their needs. I have looked at the performance of this administration, and as a lecturer, I can't even give them a C+. I can't even give them an E for effort, because they have not been performing, and I don't think that they even care to perform. And so when you look at some of the things, and let's take it back to the constituency, when you look at some of the things in your constituency, the one that you led, what were some of the programs that you would have hoped to have been happening if you were successful?
Well, I think in constituency 4, one of the critical areas of concern to me was housing again.
Yes.
We had embarked upon a plan to bring a new housing project in Challengers. Unfortunately, I didn't see that to the end. We had some serious challenges there, but I had finally basically would have overcome them and would have been ready really to do a new housing project in Challengers, which is really needed. So I think that's an issue that really needs to be dealt with. In the sporting area, The Samuel Williams playing field had always been without lights. I made sure that we lit those grounds. So that was a good thing for the young people who into football, into cricket, into other sporting activities. So for my mind, I think housing is really our number one priority in that area, you know. And I think if there's a serious effort made in that area, there are persons who've been, you know, really in need of housing for a number of years and are not able to access that. So I think that's an area that the next person who's coming into constituency 4 will have to look at that very carefully to ensure that was done. I really wanted to implement the music studio for that area. That was well on its way. I didn't get to accomplish that in the end because, you know, our term was cut short. But I really would have liked to complete that, you know, on my own end even. I ran a breakfast program, as you know, in the T. Williams Primary School for a number of years. I'm still running it. We still do it. We still provide breakfast for persons who go into T. Williams Monday to Friday. We still do that. That's an ongoing program. I want to big up the volunteers who help me in that area to ensure that the persons are, you know, have access to breakfast if they need it Monday to Friday at the T. Williams Private School. I think that's one of my better projects. Cuts across political divide, and it's something that's really absolutely needed. So, you know, I will continue it for as long as I can continue it, and then pass the baton to someone else to do that. But I think these kind of things are impactful in communities, and so I'm really happy that I can do it even now. Out of government and out of active politics, I still do it because I feel whatever I can do to give back to my community, to my country, I continue to do that for the good, you know, that we can do.
I want to, on behalf of the constituents in constituency number 4, thank you for the work that you would have given to the people of constituency number 4. I have had an interest since a teenager when it comes to national development and nation building, and you look at it from an outside lens and everything seems, you know, different to when, you know, I had the opportunity to be a part of the constituency group, still a part of the constituency group, being there house to house when you were there, being in some of the meetings when you had your one-on-ones, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to be a part of that. It really was an eye-opener for me because you see it, you hear about it, but experiencing that is a whole different situation.
Yeah, definitely.
And it really gives you an understanding of what is to be expected if one is an MP and a candidate. I recall the 2020 election, and, you know, when we were in the constituency office and knowing what goes in during election day, because you would always say it matters on election day. Mm-hmm. You have to get the votes out on that day. That is when it matters. And even, you know, going through the list and everything like that, you understand that it's a lot of work to be done. And so I want to thank you for that, for that experience. I mean, I recall being the chairman of the constituency, I still am, and it was under your time as candidate, and those experiences I still remember. And if selected as the candidate, you would give me a foretaste, you know, of what is to expect, to be expected on election day. And I know that your heart has been in the workplace when it comes to the people of constituency number 4. It's unfortunate that the people of constituency number 4 now has a representative that they thought would have saved them, whatever they thought saving was. Because, sometimes you have someone who is working for you and, no one is perfect. And the saying is that the grass always appears greener on the other side.
Yeah.
And like a dog with a bone looking at its own reflection, thinking that the bone is bigger and more juicy on the opposite side. And then when the dog jumps into the river, he realized that it was his own reflection and there was no better side. And I think that is what has happened to the people of number 4 now. We look at Old Road, they used to be buzzing with activity. I remember growing up as a young boy, a young lad in constituency 4, especially Old Road, and all the shops were open.
Don't sleep.
And because I went to school in Bastille, you have your friends and you message your friends and you say, but I'm going across the road now. All that time there's 12 a.m. Going across the road, the car going to buy something to eat. And they say, well, where are you going? The place is closed up in Bastille.
Yeah, not in
but
the
in
road.
Old Road had activity, you could have go over by Shaka. Buy your bread and cheese and
morning.
Exactly.
When I come in my youthful days, I come from a feta now, could stop before I finish my journey. Yeah.
You had to talk the road too.
It was a staple, man.
And it was the mom and pop shops. You had Gabby. Gabby had his big superette as well, supermarket. I remember when he first came on the scene, it was as though, you had these golden doors open. And the life in Old Road was different. No?
I would like to talk at some point in time, not tonight.
Yes.
But about the extinction of the mom and pop shops.
Yes.
Not only in Old Road, but throughout
Definitely.
the length and breadth of St. Kitts. I think the horses are already bolted the stable. But it's a serious socio-political problem, I think, that we have. That one has to carefully look at, because I think, the mom and shop pops are now almost emasculated.
Yes.
It's really sad, because when you spoke just a while ago and you talk about the Gabbies, you talk about the Shaka, then you talk about Miss Johnson, and then you talk about Miss Watson, then you talk about you could just call them.
You
out.
had the Edmeads
all
too.
have disappeared.
I remember the Edmeads had a shop.
Oh, my grandmother had a shop actually. Miss Taylor, and she's an Edmead too.
Yeah.
But all have disappeared.
You had Miss Watson.
Miss
yes,
Watson,
of blessed memory. She had a shop too.
So all have disappeared.
Yeah.
That's really an impact.
Yeah, Cludge across the road.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember all of those mom and pop shop, and they're gone.
They're gone.
And it's not even a situation where, persons pass due to the passage of time, and then you have persons coming up and carrying on the tradition. That tradition has ended.
Yeah.
And with no replacement. And that is a sad reality.
That's my concern.
Yes. And so when you think about governance and you think about politics, all of that is included in it, ensuring that you have the revitalization, the sustainability of those aspects of the economy that keep it going. And so when I hear the Prime Minister talk about sustainable island state, and I hear him talk about the things that he wants by just saying sustainable island state.
I don't even think he understands what that means.
I don't think, yes.
What he expects out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just some nice sounding words.
Exactly. And so I want to thank you for your presence here this evening. It has been a really good discussion. And of course, don't be a stranger to Unfiltered. It is a platform where we can speak freely without the fear of victimization. Only a few of us are so lucky to be independent of government. And so we can speak to the issues without having to worry.
Fear or favor.
Yes. That maybe tomorrow you see that you get a letter. You understand, or switch to a different department. And so the freedom of being able to speak freely, openly, respectfully is not one to be taken for granted. And so we'll continue the discussions. I want to thank those persons who have been listening and continue to listen to the program. It has been wonderful. Those persons who left their comments and their suggestions and continue to share the program as well. Of course, it only goes up in terms of improvement. And before we go, I want the DJ, there's some photos that we had. You could just share those so persons could see as we leave this evening's program. And of course, the People's Action Movement stands ready to serve the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We are a party that puts people first. Our motto is putting people first, and we will continue to do so because past and present leaders have that motto, have that goal. And under the People's Action Movement, if you look at the past, the greatest level of development came from a PAM administration. And of course, we have always been open to partnerships, like no other party. You understand? And meaningful partnerships. Sometimes the partnerships may not work out, but we're still open to being inclusive, you understand? Inclusive, welcoming everyone, generally based on not just words, but action. We include everyone.
Well, Azad, let me thank you again for giving me the opportunity to be here this evening on your well-listened and well-watched program. It's really been an honor and a pleasure, and I will certainly see if I can make some time in my nice time of retirement to come again on your program.
No problem. I look forward to the time where I could refer to you as my predecessor. Okay. Yes. All right. So thank you for listening. Yes, another episode of Unfiltered. See you next week.
Jezebel, you want the bamba, you want to chill with the big boys. Blanche say he looking for Pamela. Swear up and down that Pam dead for sure. So we jump ship and join the same labor. Who done kicking through the door? Boy, you nothing but a political football. Drunk and labor, red Kool-Aid and wine. Label lil errand boy, label lil wind up toy. Till they turn on you behind. Glen boy, you say you looking. Where the labor Jezebel? You want the bamba? You want to chill with the big boys? Blanche say he looking for Pamela. Swear up and down that Pam dead for sure. So we jump ship and join the same labor. Who done kicking through the door? Boy, you nothing but a political football. Drunk and labor, red Kool-Aid and wine. Label lil errand boy, label lil wind up toy. Till they turn on you behind. Glen boy, you say you looking for Pam. I find that mighty strange and suspicious. For when hard life had you by your color, you didn't know exactly where to find us. Boy, Pam ain't gone no way. We here to stay, we have plenty work to do. Glen boy Pam have to save the nation from vampires, lost souls and traitors like you. For 30 pieces of silver, this Judas selling out his soul. Membership in the labor posse, well that's the ultimate goal. He's singing about camel and chicken, but he's labor donkey for sure. They gon' ride him, then put him out to pasture when they can't ride him anymore. So keep looking for Pam, Blanche, you most certainly gon' need us again. For all skin teeth, they laugh, you see face but not heart. And the devil ain't got no friend. Blanche boy, I see you Dalama, and I know why you write your song. For you tired of trying to fit in where you clearly don't belong. are feeling your shame and your pain. Real donkey, chop. You want to bamba? You want to chill with the big boys? Now you the run kitty kitty, you the run kata kata, no drink water drop cup. You want to bamba? You want to chill with the big boys? Now you the run kitty kitty, you the run kata kata, no drink water drop cup. Blanchy Jar, we looking for Pamela. See me all me love. So up and don't get pammed for sure. So we jump ship and join the same label. Who done kick him through the door? Boy, you nothing but a political football. Drunk on labor, red Kool-Aid and wine. Label the ram boy, label the wind up toy. Till they turn on you behind. Glen boy, you say you looking for Pam. See me, I find a mighty strange and suspicious. For when hard life had you by you collar, you did know exactly where to find us. Boy, planning on no way. We here to stay, we have plenty work to do. Glen boy, Pam have to save the nation from vampires, lost souls and traitors like you. Boy, you say you looking for Pam. See me, I find that mighty strange and suspicious. For when hard life had you by you collar, you didn't know exactly where to find us. Boy, Pam ain't gone, no way. We here to stay, we have plenty work to do. Glen boy, Pam have to save the nation from vampires, lost souls and traitors like you. You want to bamba, you want to chill with the big boys. Now you the run, get the run, get the check what a drop cup. You want to bamba, you want to chill with the big boys. Now you the run, get the run, get the check what a drop cup. Eating with Pam, now you in a jam to rescue you again. But Pam cares for all, we'll answer your call. Blanchy boy, we are feeling your shame and your pain. Real donkey, chop. You want to bamba? You want to chill with the big boys? Now you the run, kitty kitty, you the run, kata kata, no drink water drop cup. You want to bamba? You want to chill with the big boys? Now you the run, kitty kitty, you the run, kata kata, no drink water drop cup. Blanchy Jar, we looking for Pamela. See me all me love. So up and don't get pammed for sure. So we jump ship and join the same label. Who done kick him through the door? Boy, you nothing but a political football. Drunk on labor, red Kool-Aid and wine. Label the ram boy, label the wind up toy. Till they turn on you behind. Glen boy, you say you looking for Pam. See me, I find a mighty strange and suspicious. For when hard life had you by you collar, you did know exactly where to find us. Boy, planning on no way. We here to stay, we have plenty work to do. Glen boy, Pam have to save the nation from vampires, lost souls and traitors like you. Boy, you say you looking for Pam. See me, I find that mighty strange and suspicious. For when hard life had you by you collar, you didn't know exactly where to find us. Boy, Pam ain't gone, no way. We here to stay, we have plenty work to do. Glen boy, Pam have to save the nation from vampires, lost souls and traitors like you. You want to bamba, you want to chill with the big boys. Now you the run, get the run, get the check what a drop cup. Belong. The whole country know Pam's the real answer for peace and prosperity. And you know now more than ever that labor mean chaos and misery. So you really pleading with Pam. Now you in a jam to rescue you again. But Pam cares for all, we'll answer your call. Blanchy boy, we are feeling your shame and your pain. Real donkey, chop. You want to bamba? You want to chill with the big boys? Now you the run, kitty kitty, you the run, kata kata, no drink water drop cup. You want to bamba? You want to chill with the big boys? Now you the run, kitty kitty, you the run, kata kata, no drink water drop cup. Blanchy Jar, we looking for Pamela. See me all me love. So up and don't get pammed for sure. So we jump ship and join the same label. Who done kick him through the door? Boy, you nothing but a political football. Drunk on labor, red Kool-Aid and wine. Label the ram boy, label the wind up toy. Till they turn on you behind. Glen boy, you say you looking for Pam. See me, I find a mighty strange and suspicious. For when hard life had you by you collar, you did know exactly where to find us. Boy, planning on no find that mighty strange and suspicious. For when hard life had you by you collar, you didn't know exactly where to find us. Boy, fun ain't gone nowhere. We here to stay, we have plenty work to do. Blend boy, fun have to save the nation from vampires, lost souls and traitors like you. You want to bomb out, you want to chill with the big boys. Now you the run, get it run, get it, check what a drop cup. You want to bomb out, you want to chill with the big boys. Now you the run, get it run, get it, check what a drop cup. You want to blow, you want to bomb out, you want to chill with the big boys. Now you the run, get it run, get it, check what a drop cup. Want to bomb out, you want to chill with the big boys. Now you the run, get it run, get it, check what a drop cup. You want to bomb out, you want to chill with the big boys. Now you the run, get it run, get it. You want to mama, you want to chill with the big boy. Now you the run, get it, drink with a drop cup. Want to mama, you want to chill with the big boys. Now you the run, kitty, you the run, kata, no to drink water, drop down, drop the big water down. Want to mama, you want to chill with the big boys. Now you the run, kitty, you the run.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM. We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.